hopefully I have a couple more weeks of basketball yet, one game at a time.
The things like this you wish for and dream for as a kid.
I got to tell them every time it's March, anything can happen. Trust me, anything can happen. I've seen it.
Foster Loyer didn't leave here in a bad way. He left here in a great way.
It's crazy. Foster knows us a lot, but at the end of the day, it's just basketball, and we got to go out and compete at the end of the day. They got a good team. We got a good team. It's going to be a very good game.
Take away, and now it is. Layup, up the floor. Gabe Brown finds the ladder.
Shovel pass there.
Under 4, Walker fires.
Guys got to buy all the way in. It's one and done time, and I'm not one person that wants to go home early.
Just continue to play and have fun, my guys. It's fun getting out there every night and going to war with them, so I just want to continue and never want that to end.
I went home early last year, and I'm not going home early this year.
I mean, it's my favorite time. You know, most people like Christmas. I like March.
It'd be hard to find someone in the state of Michigan who loves the month of March more than Michigan State's basketball coach Tom Izzo. The smile on his face just says it all, and ever since Selection Sunday, when the Spartans learned of their NCAA tournament fate, he has had a bit more pep in his step. Maybe you feel the same way as well, and you're going to enjoy the hour ahead if so, because in all of MSU's 24 straight appearances in the Big Dance under Izzo, this year's draw is one of the wildest ones.
First and second round games in Greenville, South Carolina on Friday and Sunday, the 7th seed. Michigan State, the Spartans from the Big Ten. Coach Tom Izzo ties Mike Krzyzewski's record for consecutive tournament appearances at 24, and they will meet the Wildcats of Davidson.
Davidson is where former Spartan point guard Foster Loyer transferred to after last season. It's also a matchup Izzo believes current Golden State Warrior teammates Draymond Green and Steph Curry are having a heyday with.
I know Draymond and Steph are probably having a field day out there. Mariucci and I bet dollars. They probably bet hundreds of thousands of dollars on the game. That's the difference in being from the UP and in the NBA. But I think Bob's been a great coach. I know Bob pretty well. He does a hell of a job.
Well, what makes it even tougher for MSU is Loyer knows the Spartans offense a lot better than they know the Wildcats. And it's not just because he spent 3 years in East Lansing. The point guard position at Michigan State is essentially an extension of Tom Izzo on the floor, so he was able to soak up a lot of knowledge. Izzo said Bob McKillop should use him for their scouting report because he'd be more valuable than McKillop's assistant. Izzo has also talked to Loyer often throughout the season, just like Gabe Brown and Marcus Bingham Jr. have. The three of them were a part of the same recruiting class, and in 2018, Loyer even beat out Bingham and Brown to win Michigan's Mr. Basketball. So yeah, Foster's face is definitely a familiar one.
Me and Foster's relationship is very close. Me, Marky, and Foster, we are very close. Treat each other like brothers. As of playing them, it's going to be an exciting game. It's going to be a good game for us. And I know it's going to be exciting for Foster to see us as well. So it's just going to be a lot of good energy and a lot of good vibes.
He's been here. He knows what to expect coming from us. I only got a year of really playing against Foster, so our relationship is really well. We still talking to other groups that we had last year, so we watch him, watch things he's done this year, did an outstanding job. So we just kind of still fans of Foster Loyer, so just coming in, it's kind of just a fun moment to see one of our own former guys we get to play against the first game.
Loyer couldn't be more ready for Friday night's first round date with the Spartans. As soon as the pairings were released, he tweeted out this quote, "See y'all Friday," with the peace sign emoji. Izzo was adamant on Sunday after the field was announced that Loyer left East Lansing on good terms. He's mentioned it several times to me as well, and there are certainly no hard feelings between the two. Izzo has been a fan of Foster's before, during, and after his time in a Spartan uniform, and he does not want that to be the storyline going into an event like the NCAA tournament. That's supposed to be one of the most exciting and fun times in a player's life.
I know our players probably felt a little weird. I mean, Foster Loyer didn't leave here in a bad way. He left here in a great way, and those guys, a lot of them stay in touch with him, along with Rock. I talk to him every couple of weeks, along with Kithier and along with Jack Hoiberg. So it was kind of a strange way that maybe that many left in everybody's mind, but it was all for good reasons, and they've all been successful in their own way, and nobody's happier for them than I am, to be honest with you.
So if MSU is able to take down Davidson on Friday night and Duke beats Cal State Fullerton, next up for the Spartans would be Mike Krzyzewski's second-seeded Blue Devils. And the battles these two Hall of Fame coaches have been through over the years has provided college basketball with some of its finest moments, even if Coach K is 12-3 all-time against Izzo. Izzo is sort of on the up and up, though, when it comes to these head-to-head showdowns. Michigan State has won 2 of its last 3 meetings against Duke, with the most recent one coming last year at Cameron Indoor Stadium. The Spartans beat the Blue Devils 75-69 for Izzo's first ever win at Cameron. And then in 2019, how could you forget Kenny Goins' shot heard all around Washington, D.C. that not only ended Zion Williamson's college career, but it sent the Spartans to the Final Four. MSU could now have a chance to end Coach K's career. And once the brackets were revealed, Izzo was asked about the potential meeting.
I did an interview for somebody about Mike that they wanted me to do, that they were going to play for him, and they were gathering a couple of coaches. I said, there's no question in the world that Tom Izzo, the Italian guy, is Mike Krzyzewski, the Polish guy's best friend, because we've been beaten like a drum by them. I'm saying that we have won a couple of the last 3, and so it would make me real happy to play Duke. Mostly because that means we won the opener.
We'll find out in a matter of days if that's how the chips fall in South Carolina. And one player who was on that team in 2019 who would love to see the Spartans make a run to the Final Four this year is Mr. Gabe Brown. He's all grown up now and shares with us after the break how his journey at MSU has come full circle. Stay with us.
We just got to stay locked in. Guys got to buy all the way in. It's one and done time, and I'm not one person that wants to go home early. I went home early last year, and I'm not going home early this year. So everybody got to lock in. We got to get the job done.
Now that Gabe Brown is the captain of Michigan State's basketball team, there is a more serious side of him that tends to shine through in moments where it wouldn't have a couple of years ago. And on March 6th, his message was received loud and clear. The Spartans had just beat Maryland to close out the regular season, and he was asked whether or not they have the capability to make a run in March. He's learned a lot over the last 4 years. It's a journey he's realizing, too, that's going to come full circle for him this week in Greenville, which is also where our Nick Mantis is. Nick, I am glad that you made it, buddy. How are you?
Well, Audrey, we literally just got off the plane, took the Uber over here, and got here for this live shot. And we are so excited for March Madness to get going, as is Gabe Brown, who cannot wait to leave his mark on the March Madness this year. And, of course, him being a captain and being a leader, he's ready to make sure that the Spartans are ready to focus on the task at hand.
But he felt they really have struggled with that. Better tonight, and they've got a 12-point lead. Gabe Brown laying it up and in, drawing the foul.
Exactly what this is. Poor pass. You see Gabe Brown running that wing. A terrific angle from our camera right there on the sideline. And look where he takes off from. That's Russell Lake coming over. Gabe Brown, an acrobatic play in transition.
Let's start off with just the kind of the exciting news of the fact that, you know, here we are. It's March Madness again. Guys got a pretty good seed and going up against Davidson. What was that feeling like when you guys were sitting around and watching the screen and you saw the matchup?
We thought we were going to be like an 8 or 9 seed. It was surprising that we were a 7 seed, but it's good. We're playing Davidson. It's kind of crazy because former player, one of my close friends, Foster Lawyer, goes there, so it's kind of exciting to see that.
And here comes Lawyer up the far side.
One of the best offensive teams in the country.
But when it comes to the relationship that you have with Foster and the friendship that you guys were able to build as you, him, Markey, Aaron, you guys all came in together. And now to kind of come full circle and to get to see him again, how exciting is that to just get to see one of your good friends, but also get to play basketball with him?
It's going to be very exciting because I've been on Foster since my sophomore year in high school, so we've been very close since then. So it's going to be very exciting. Foster's a great player, great guy, comes from a great family, so it's going to be good to just see him again. I try to keep up with him, keep up with how he's doing probably once a week.
How'd your friendship kind of build, and Where did it first start?
The crazy part about it was we played against each other. Foster team beat my team by about 35. Like, they beat us bad. And just remember after the game, we just chopped it up a little bit, and I kind of knew that Michigan State was in one of his top schools that he was going to, and that's just how we build a relationship.
Ball up top, Lawyer with the steal, and Lawyer's going to go coast to coast.
You think about the possibility of playing that game, and then what else comes after that with the possibility of going up against Duke again, as you did when you were a freshman back in 2019. What's it like for you to, again, see your career here coming full circle, that you were able to get 3 minutes, 1 rebound, 1 personal foul in that win against Duke to get you guys to the Final Four in 2019, and now to be able to go against them possibly again? What's that kind of like for you?
It's exciting, but it's one game at a time. It's March, so anything can happen. So I'm focused on the first game. We're gonna move on.
Another fortuitous bounce for the Spartans. Brown, little jab step 3, and they're up 20. Timeout, Maryland.
As you've seen over the last couple of weeks, this team has had really, really good games where everybody's cooking.
Spartans have Bingham with Jordan Davis, and they finally find him. And how about that pass from Hogard from the top of the key?
And then games where we don't know what's happening. It's just a confusing performance.
Ovid underneath. Edie knocks it down. The assist by Ivy.
How do you make sure that you guys are being in a position where you have to have your best games every single night that you play?
It's my job as a captain. I got to bring it each and every day, and I got to tell the guys that, like I said, anything can happen. So I don't want to go home early, and we're going to lock in on the task at hand. And I'm pretty sure the guys and the coaches don't want to go home early. So I just got to do my best job of just leading this team.
There are moments and there are shots and videos of you and Markey dancing in the locker room, having fun and just being real energetic guys and stuff. And now you guys are leaders of this team, seniors. You kissing the floor. You're in this moment where it's your time. What does it mean to you to have that full journey as a Spartan?
Wow, kind of make it seem like I'm old. But it's crazy. For me to be in this position I am in now is crazy. As a freshman, if you told me I was going to be captain of this basketball team, or told me I was going to lead this basketball team, or just be the guy that guys depend on, and I would have never thought of it as a freshman. But now it's kind of surreal. As you look back at it, it went fast. Like, it really went by truly fast. But I'm proud of all my guys. I'm proud of my guys for sticking with me. I'm proud of the coaches for sticking with me. And one of the most memorable nights will be senior night, because it was so fun to kiss that floor.
What does it mean to you to know that there's a chance for you to put a bow on your Spartan career with a great run this March?
It means everything to me. It means the world to me. That's all I want to do.
Well, as for the mindset behind the Spartans as they get ready for their run in this NCAA tournament, Gabe wanted to make it very clear that even though this is a new year, a new location here in Greenville at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena, the focus and dedication is always where it needs to be when the Spartans go dancing. In Greenville, Nick Mantis, 6 Sports.
All right, thank you, Nick. And so while there's Brown, who's had a bit of experience when it comes to dancing in March, another Spartan is going to get his real first taste of it. A.J. Hogard's role is getting bigger by the game, and it's a role he's ready to embrace come Friday. Stay with us.
I kind of had no choice but to step up and be there for my guys in that situation. So I just knew coming in the second half, I was going to give them my all for that 20 minutes. Told the coaching staff I was ready to go. I didn't need no sub. I was going to do whatever in my power to help us with that win. We came up short, but I felt like I grew a lot. We grew a lot over the weekend, so that'll help us leading up to Friday.
Tom Izzo has said a number of times this season his team lacks leadership. And despite A.J. Hogard being a sophomore, the toughness the point guard displayed in the Big Ten tournament showed Izzo he does have the potential to be a leader for the Spartans. Our Ian Kress joins us now in studio. And this season has sort of been a roller coaster for Hogard, hasn't it?
He sure has, Odd, and Tom Izzo said this week that he can see the progression through those ups and downs, and it reminds him of the ways guys like Draymond Green and Denzel Valentine developed at MSU. It's also the toughness and leadership skills that shows AJ has what it takes to be a point guard at Michigan State. From the very first game of the season, AJ Hoggard has had plenty of ups.
Hoggard, nobody really stopped the ball, and he goes coast to coast. Hoggard steps into a three. That's just hustle, giving you an extra possession.
He's also had his fair share of downs.
That's got to drive Tom Izzo crazy. A lazy pass by Hoggard. He takes it the other way. Abaji having a great night.
We talked right after that Kansas game, the season opener, and now here we are, March Madness. How would you say this season you have really grown into just a better point guard?
Just understanding the game, watching more film, understanding the things that I need to do and get better at. Just seeing the things live, it helps a lot. Learning from film is really precious because you get to see what you did wrong or what you need to improve on, where you can do different things at in certain situations.
I feel like too, Coach Izzo has, you've had really good games, but he doesn't try to work them up too much and make you maybe get a big head with those type of games. How has he kept you level-headed and trying to stay just neutral and not get too far ahead of yourself?
We talk a lot. We have a lot of meetings, especially being a point guard, being an extension of him. We have to kind of be on the same page, of course, for things to go well for our team. So we talk a lot. We just kind of keep things level-headed because we haven't done anything yet. This is the time where we want to get things done. So just kind of being level-headed and ready and focused for March and just continue to try to lead my guys when I'm out there on the court. It's just been big for me and him. What's your relationship been like with Coach Izzo as the season has gone on? It's grown a lot, especially for my freshman. You're just a freshman to come on campus. You're trying to learn things, especially this year with me playing a lot more. It's just grown a lot because he expects more things out of me. I expect more out of myself. So just the conversations of him helping me and me helping him understand some of the things that I see and go from there. We just kind of get things going.
To be a leader, you have to have some toughness, both mental and physical, if you ask me. And most of my leaders that have been, well, the two toughest guys on my team are probably him and probably Julius.
Being just a sophomore, how has your leadership too just taken an extra step this season and from where it was maybe last year?
Just seeing the things, how the season went last year and not wanting to have that taste in my mouth again, and just also growing from just being here a year and understanding what Coach wants and understanding what needs to be done to win, because we didn't do much of that last year. So I just feel like I wanted to be different this year.
Nice plays at this end of the floor too, with a steal and a rebound. The three at this end.
Like Walker might have
got hurt too.
Yeah, hurt his ankle there. Might have stepped on somebody's foot.
Michigan State coming in.
Got another one here. Hoggard now just stepped on a foot.
He had just come in. It was Thompson who had just come in. I beg your pardon. It's Hoggard.
Stepped on his own teammate's foot.
Hoggard, that leg's okay.
I'll say, goodness.
Got a little treatment in the back.
Give Dick Ritchie a raise over there, the trainer.
In the game against Purdue, obviously, Tyson goes down, so you sort of have to step up, play a little more minutes. You said afterwards that you really kind of forgot that you were hurt. Where did that mindset come from? I saw your tweet saying that, where you're from, that's, hurt is not really an option.
It's just a mentality. Just growing up, where I grew up, just things that you got to do. My dad used to drop me off at the park and just make sure and tell me before and leave and tell me to come home with everything I took down there. So just the mentality of toughness that you have to have growing up where I grew up. So it just kind of was something normal for me. Tyson went down, I come and twist my ankle right away. Probably 15 seconds later, he hasn't even got fully off the court yet, which is kind of crazy to me. So I just looked at my team and this was like, one of us is hurt, both of us is hurt right now, but one of us got to play. And I'm gonna be the one that play. I'm not sitting out, I can't do it. I just see us getting to this Big Ten championship. So we were playing so good, I just was like, I had to give my all for my teammates. They fight for me, I pull for them. So it was just the toughest thing for me. I just couldn't give up on my guys.
Hoggard right now just taking his time, getting whatever he wants.
When the other guys maybe see that from you, that toughness and pushing through that injury, do you think that is maybe some more motivation for them, knowing that? I
would say, yeah. I think we all motivate each other in our own ways. I think a toughness factor is the way I motivate the guys, just not giving up and being relentless on everything I do. So everybody has their own way of motivating. Everybody's different, but I think we all motivate each other in different special ways.
Here's the tournament resume for the Spartans. 11-9 in conference play during the tournament, 5 quad 1 wins.
Things we did early in the season, we kind of fixing now and getting better and peaking at the right time, I would say.
Yeah, now you guys are peaking at the right time with the NCAA tournament. 24 straight years for this program. And what do you think of that when you hear that Michigan State has been in the NCAA tournament for 24 straight years?
Here we strive on pressure is a privilege. So just being here, you don't want to be that team that breaks the streak. So we just strive on that. Just continuing. It's just fun. It's just fun being around here. It's a very prestigious program. Coach Izzo done a heck of a job here. So we just strive on that and just trust him and roll with the punches.
I know you just had the one game last year in the tournament, but are there any takeaways from that experience that you guys can use now in this year, for this year?
A big takeaway for the guys that were there last year, talking to the freshmen about it, just don't want to go home early. We didn't have that many seniors last year, but the guys that are back, we just don't want to be that team that goes home early. We want to make a run. Just continue to play and have fun with my guys. It's fun getting out there every night and going to war with them, so I just want to continue and never want that to end.
In Saturday's loss to Purdue, Hogard set career highs in points, minutes played, field goals made and attempted, rebounds, assists, and steals. And that's all after he left the game with an injury, so that is without a doubt the type of toughness the Spartans will need if they want to advance in the tournament. Audrey, back to you.
Absolutely, E. Thank you. And Hogard's minutes should continue to rise come this Friday against the Wildcats, because as of right now, Tyson Walker's status for the game is still very much up in the air. The junior point guard sprained his ankle right out of the gate in the Big Ten tournament semifinal against Purdue and immediately had to come out of the game. With the Spartans being the final game of the day on Friday, it does give him a better opportunity to play, but whether or not he will is dependent upon Walker and how fast he can recover.
Some guys respond quick to an injury and heal quicker than others. When you have that kind of injury, everybody's different. The good news is the swelling has gone down, and that usually kind of makes a difference in the healing process. If it's swollen, it doesn't heal as fast.
Point guard play is crucial for any Michigan State team to be successful, and Izzo when he has a good quarterback, I should say, those have been the years where the Spartans have been able to do the most damage in the NCAA tournament. I mean, Cassius Winston was the one running the offense when Izzo cut this net down in 2019. It's one reason why he loves March so much, and we sit down with the boss man after the break.
I am putting it all on me. I really am. And I'm going to figure out a way. I've had coaches call, don't ever blame yourself. Check this out. I have to do a better job. Team doesn't play with the toughness, the tenacity. That falls on my shoulders.
After a blowout loss to Rutgers on the road earlier this year, the MSU men's basketball team backed it up with a 70-62 loss at the Breslin Center to Wisconsin for its first back-to-back losses of the season. Izzo was visibly frustrated afterwards, considering the Spartans only shot 32% from the field. But in the quarterfinal game of the Big Ten tournament, MSU did redeem itself against the Badgers to advance to the weekend. Is it enough, though, to convince Izzo his guys are ready for the big dance?
Speaking of March Madness, it just seems like right now things are a little bit in a lighter mood in a sense, just because, as you mentioned several times, this is your favorite time of the year. And so when you have your team play the way in which it did in the Big Ten tournament, to play 3 straight days, have all that momentum, how confident are you in your guys' ability right now to saddle up in this time?
Well, I'm getting there. I've also had a couple of weeks when things weren't so good, so I'm mature enough, I guess is the word, that I understand there's going to be ups and downs in a season and things go, but there's nothing like going into something when you're trending upward compared to trending downward. And I think the Big Ten tournament helped us trend upward and reinforced if we guard and we rebound and we run, or if we don't turn the ball over, good things can happen to us. We don't have elite talent. But if you ask me, neither do some of the other teams around the country that are even 2 and 3 seeds. So it's the time of year anything can happen. It's the time of year that, it's my favorite time. Most people like Christmas. I like March. You have to like March if you're a basketball person.
Marcus made a lot of, seemed like positive steps too while he was in Indianapolis. Obviously everybody points to that Wisconsin game. double-double, tied his career best with 19 points. And so where did you really start to see him hone in and maybe focus more, or, you know, how did that develop? How was he able to play so well in Indianapolis for you?
I love Marcus because Marcus keeps coming back from
Lob up top and the flush for Bingham.
where some guys just bolt. I love him for that. I love him for his skill level, you know. But sometimes he's the only guy I know that hitting a three excites him more than even a dunk, you know. And most people just light up on a dunk, you know. He made a hell of a dunk. It was just another day. And so what happens is he starts spending a lot of time out there. And when he does, he goes to the free throw line almost none. And he's a great free throw shooter. Not good, he's great. He gets 11 rebounds in that game, most of them in the second half, because he's in there. And so there's so many things that the average person wouldn't see, and sometimes Mark doesn't see. But, you know, when you do it on a big stage, maybe it helps validate what we've been saying to him. And so DJ and I, you know, we just had a little intervention meeting at halftime and talked to him about that. And, you know, and then he went out and did it. Now the next day, you know, you're still, as they say, it takes 21 days to change a habit. And, but I've come my way with Mark, which means inside out threes he can shoot. And he's done a good job of it. And then that day he came some way with me. If we could join in the middle, we got a hell of a deal going.
And it bounces down for Marcus Bingham.
You've been bringing up, obviously, you don't want this to be all about Foster and, you know, the matchup with just Foster. I mean, there's a whole lot of talented players that Davidson has. But, you know, I wanted to go more into the part where you don't want people to treat him negatively, or how they shouldn't treat him negatively when it comes to this first round matchup.
Well, the reason I said that, Audrey, is because when he left, I got a chance to see some of the Twitter things that he had saved. And I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed as his coach. I was embarrassed as a friend. I was embarrassed that anybody at our institution or that was a Michigan State fan would act like that. But I reserve the right to say we don't know who it was. You know, it could have been a fan of Purdue or Michigan or somebody else. But he took a lot of abuse, and a lot of it wasn't his fault. I mean, every day he brought his lunch pail and he came to work. Every day he did the things he had to do. Some of it could have been my fault. Some of it, which I'm sure I took some for too, and some of it could be just the situation. And when I say I love the kid, God, I don't want to say it this week because of the competition. But if I took a better word for that right now, it would be have ultimate respect for him. And our people here should, because all he was a 3.95 student. All he was a captain as a guy that didn't play a lot, voted by the players and the coaches. All he was is a guy that committed here early because this is where he wanted to be. He actually is going to come back and finish his degree here, so he has a degree from Michigan State, which take one class. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of reasons that people shouldn't like Foster Loyer. They should love him.
Izzo said he won't like Loyer on Friday, but once the game is over, he'll go back to loving him again. And with the win over Davidson, it could perfectly tee up the matchup with Duke. And while everyone's already honed in on the potential meeting between Tom Izzo and Duke's coach Mike Krzyzewski, Izzo wants everyone to know Davidson's coach Bob McKillop deserves to be in the conversation. We touch upon that when March to Glory returns. Welcome back to March to Glory. This week in Greenville, South Carolina, there will be a plethora of experience on the floor from a coaching standpoint. Davidson's Bob McKillop has been at the helm of the Wildcats since 1989. And then, of course, there's Tom Izzo and Mike Krzyzewski, who are now tied for the most consecutive NCAA tournament appearances with 24. It's some good company to be in, and Izzo doesn't take any of it for granted, as you'll find out in part 2 of our chat.
The next part here is that if you do win and beat Davidson on Friday, you get to play Duke and Mike Krzyzewski. There's a lot of different angles and storylines you could go with when it comes to you guys together. But the biggest thing that I want to know is I know that you put something together for him to kind of celebrate his career on the night he had his final game at Duke. And so what can you say about Mike in terms of him as not only a coach, what he's done for the game, but just as a person too, because you've grown close with him over the years?
Yeah, we have developed a friendship, and the reason that the friendship is there, and I keep telling him because we're like 3-11 against them, so hell, if I was beating the hell out of somebody every day, I'd love him too, you know? But I was there for that historic moment when he got the career record. It was against Michigan State in New York, with every Duke alum that had ever been alive was there. Some came dead, I think. There were so many Duke people there. And, you know, just the way he humbly talked to me after the game, I congratulated him, but he was so humble. He taught us all a lesson. I watched him the other night when they got beat. I watched him against North Carolina when they got beat. And I think that's a true test of a human being, you know. How does he act to people? When he shook everybody's hand in that handshake line, when he sat there after and spent time with their star guard, it was unbelievable. And I said, boy, I hope I can take over that mantle of treating people the way he did. So Mike's Mike, you know. You can't love the guy that wins all the time. That's illegal too, you know. But I do appreciate him. He's been helpful when I've looked at certain jobs. He's been a guy that I value his opinion, and most of all, I value what he's done for the game, what he's done for coaches in general, and how he's done it. So, and the consistency, to use a word that I've learned to really make a bigger deal out than I ever have in my life this year. He's been consistent, and there's one record we have together now that's the longest streak at a school, I think, NCAA appearances, and that's pretty cool, you know, to be in a one with Bobby Knight and one with Mike Krzyzewski, and those two, you know, Mike played for Bob, so yeah, that's a good feeling for me.
Yeah, all in the same year.
Yeah.
It's interesting how life sort of does that, you know, how the ebbs and flows with it.
So in that respect, I hope it brings us together on Sunday. If that happens, it'll be, I bet it'll be good for basketball. But unfortunately, we have another great coach. Bob McKillop is really a good coach, and I spent a little time with him out in San Francisco once. He was out there to see Steph Curry, and I was out there to see Draymond. And I told him his job's easier than mine when he goes to talk to him after. But Bob's a great guy and a really good coach. So there's some good coaches down there, that's for sure.
And then I have to ask about this as well, because if you do make it to the point where you get to face Duke, how much do you go back and maybe reflect or look at that shot by Kenny that he had in 2019 to send you guys to the Final Four? Because I'll just never forget that day where Cash just threw the ball up at the end and everybody ran all over the floor. And it just times like this have to bring up those memories for you.
Sure, they're memory-making moments. That's what life's all about, you know, this collection of memories. And that'll go down as one of the iconic memories for everybody at Michigan State, much less me and Cassius and Kenny. But, you know, and one of the more disappointing moments, and that's another time when Mike came over and was so gracious and so complimentary of our team on the floor. That's why I'm a fan of the handshake lines, because that's when you really learn about somebody, and he was unbelievable. And I don't think that's going to win us the next time we play them, but it sure is going to be a great thing to look back on and smile. But, you know, if we're lucky enough to get to that game, again, most of the players that'll play, there'll be a couple, but most of them weren't around then. And I guess the only two that were around are Mike and I.
When you have Gabe and Markey, obviously, those are the two Lone Rangers
they have
that
a couple. I think they have two on their team too. But yeah, that was unfortunately for me, and fortunately for him, the table's been turned more often than it went in my direction. So I've been on the side of a lot more losses to Duke than I have wins.
We can change the tide, maybe. We'll
there
see.
You go.
Well, thank you for taking the time. Good luck, safe travels, and yeah, good luck moving on.
Well, I appreciate it, and hopefully, you know, even though spring football is starting, which is one of my favorite times of year, as we talked about earlier, but hopefully I have a couple more weeks of basketball yet, one game.
Well, Izzo will tell you the first game of the tournament is always the hardest game to win, but if you can make it to the weekend, then the rest is just a coin flip. And speaking of trying to win the weekend, Michigan's basketball team is back in Indianapolis to begin its journey in the big dance. We're going to take you there after the break.
GoldenNuggetCasino.com is excited to introduce Golden Nugget Megaways. Earn the VIP free spins bonus, big multipliers, and over 117,000 ways to win. Sign up now, and we'll match your first deposit up to $1,000 plus 200 free spins. Only at GoldenNuggetCasino.com.
Whether you're going downtown or off the grid, there's no better way to get there than in a Ford Escape, Edge, Explorer, or Bronco Sport. You'll have the freedom and capability to go anywhere and do anything. And right now, build to order any Escape SUV and you'll get up to $2,400 in total savings. Check it out today at your neighborhood Michigan Ford dealer.
Your home. It's more than a mortgage payment. It's where your child took their first steps and had their first sleepover. FSM protects your home from the ground up, offering basement waterproofing, crawl space, and foundation repair. Every year, thousands of homeowners trust us because we're changing what a home contractor looks like, giving you peace of mind, protecting you, your family, and your home.
Call 877-TRY-MISH.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC.
Or GM employee program participants with a current eligible GMC lease can get this low mileage lease on this 2022 GMC Sierra Limited Elevation for $299 per month.
Visit LaFontaine, Crippen, Jim Winter, and Team One.
Neogen, a leader in manufacturing products that keep our food and animals safe, is hiring here locally.
Neogen is constantly growing.
Neogen allows me to grow my career.
I like the people, the mission, and doing what matters.
Join our family at Neogen.com.
Neogen, a leader in manufacturing products that keep our food and animals safe, is hiring here locally.
Neogen is constantly growing.
Neogen allows me to grow my career.
I like the people, the mission, and doing what matters.
Join our family at Neogen.com.
There's only one truck that's always on the job. Ford F-Series. No matter where, when, or how you use your F-150, this truck has all the power, performance, and technology you'll ever need. And right now, build to order an F-150, and you'll get up to $5,000 in total savings. Check it out today at your neighborhood Michigan Ford dealer.
GoldenNuggetCasino.com delivers the best online slot experience with the Golden Nugget Stepper. Play online to get bonus free spins, multiplier wilds, and more. Sign up now and we'll match your first deposit up to $1,000 plus 200 free spins. Only at GoldenNuggetCasino.com.
All right, guys, let's move on now. First and second round games in Indianapolis on Thursday and Saturday. The second team out of the Mountain West, the Rams of Colorado State. The Rams make their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2013. They've got David Roddy, who's the Mountain West Player of the Year, 25-5 on the season for Colorado State. They will meet the fourth team out of the Big Ten, the Michigan Wolverines.
Well, Michigan is happy to be dancing for a 6th consecutive year. The location for their first-round matchup in Indianapolis against Colorado State wasn't at the top of their list. Michigan was just on the hardwood last Thursday at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, where they lost to Indiana in their Big Ten tournament opener. But as we all know, the NCAA tourney is a season of its own, and anything can happen. The two will tip off against one another tomorrow. The game's at 12:15, airing right here on WLNS. And today, when the Wolverines were on the floor for their open practice, starting point guard Devontae Jones was nowhere to be found. Come to find out, he didn't make the trip to Indy because he is in concussion protocol. He won't play tomorrow, but could return for Saturday's game if the Wolverines advance. And the one pressing question for Howard is, how did this happen?
You playing in competitive practices where guys are competing, you know, an inverted elbow as you drive into the lane. You know, it so happened, you got elbowed in the nose area, and, but you know, looking at it day by day, and you know, I'm sure he's going to be healthy soon. Just take his time. We're not trying to rush him back. We want a 100% healthy Devontae. It's a bummer because here's a young man who's been a part of Coastal Carolina, had a lot of success there. Now he's, you know, having the opportunity to play here at the University of Michigan, led our team, and he's also a big reason why we're here. So what it is at this moment, we're going to monitor his health, pray that he gets healthy. But overall, I love how his teammates is going to be there to stand up and play hard for him.
Howard isn't lying when he says Jones has played a pivotal role in helping the Wolverines get to this point. Not only does he lead the team in assists, but he's third in scoring behind Eli Brooks and big man Hunter Dickinson, a dynamic duo who are no strangers to this time of the year. After the break, we're going to take you back to Indy to hear how their Elite Eight experience from a year ago could do wonders for the Wolverines this time around. Stay with us. March to glory. Out of the record 9 Big Ten teams who qualified for last year's NCAA tournament, Michigan was the only one left standing going into its Elite Eight matchup against UCLA. The Bruins ended up spoiling the Wolverines' party as well, but as they prepare to make a run this year, they will certainly lean on a veteran guard, Eli Brooks, and big man Hunter Dickinson, who shared how having experience in this, quote, crazy tournament is crucial. And here's what he learned from his first go-round as a freshman.
Just how much each game matters, and how, you know, 40 minutes from, you know, the start, your season can be over, and, you know, you can go home and, you know, like, there's no more season, and, you know, no more friendships and bonds, and, you know, getting to see your teammates and your coaches every day is, you know, it's pretty, you know, awakening when it happens. And so for us, just trying to, you know, keep our season alive as much as we can, and, you know, try to make the most out of it.
I'll end it with this. Happy March. Enjoy the madness, and thank you for spending the last hour with us at WLNS TV. Have a great night.